Steve can't understand. You know when you see some geek with the fittest bird you've ever seen? It makes you wonder what she's doing. But you see, Steve would intervene. He couldn't just let that happen and let the couple continue on their way. He'd catch up and walk between them, and this is what he'd say. I've got GCSEs, me, you know. I've got A-levels as well. I've got degrees from university. But there's one thing I just can't tell. There's one thing I just can't fathom. I just can't take it in. What the fuck is a girl like you doing going out with him? Shauna and Danielle, the pussy fight. Danielle and her friend Shauna came to the hotel where Steve was staying. Shauna's face was now red and blotchy from where Geordie Steve had been spraying his dirty love juice in her face on the day before. But I guess she must have liked it because she had now come back for more. We all laid in bed together, and perhaps it wasn't right to stick my finger in Danielle, causing a pussy fight. Because with Fanny Juice as ammunition, Steve found it really ace, scooping gunk from Shauna's pussy to wipe on Danielle's face. I couldn't just let Steve do that and not retaliate, so I stuck 3 fingers in Danielle's cunt, then wiped them on her mate. The pussy fight continued till me and Danielle left the bed. We went into the bathroom so she could give me head, and it was of the highest standard. Credit where credit's due. That gal could suck for England as well as Timbuktu. She swallowed all my man fat and blew spunk bubbles out her gob that were made from all the semen that had just come out my knob. But despite these great attributes, I weren't about to leave my house, my bird and my daughter for this girl I'd met through Steve. You see, Danielle had confessed by now. She had been pregnant from the start. Danielle, I said, I think now's the time that maybe we should part. Steve stopped seeing Shauna, and that we thought was that, until several months much later when Shauna turned up at his flat. Porn. I thought I liked pornography, but Steve really loved his porn. I swear that he's been watching it since the day that he was born. 3 light bulbs. Whilst knocking doors with Steve, in a street somewhere in Dover, a series of events unfolded, which kind of bowled me over. Steve knocked on one of the doors and was greeted by a hoe who couldn't speak much English because she came from Kosovo. But not one to lose a sale. Steve showed his badge and we walked in. The woman weren't sure what was going on. She just had a nervous grin. Steve managed to fill out the contract form, which then he made a sign. He said she'd get a new gas card, and she said, "Oh, that all seems fine." Each new customer got 3 light bulbs, so Steve said she could have some as well. But I stood back in complete bewilderment as Steve then began to tell this asylum seeker lady what was going to happen next. "Oh, Ma will come and visit you," said Steve. I looked a tad perplexed. "And when he comes to see you, he will have a big vibrator. He will bring it in a seaboard bag for you to play with later." Steve then did the actions of a vibrator being used. The lady looked slightly puzzled, but she seemed to be amused. So Steve decided to continue, and then went on to say, "This Omar chap likes titties, and with yours he's going to play." Steve then did some more great acting of a man playing with some tits. And as I looked at her nervous grin, thought, she's scared out of her wits. And this was confirmed later on, when our boss turned up in his car. The lady had reported us. Maybe Steve had gone too far. "Okie dokie diddly do, boys," said our boss named Kim. "Don't worry, don't worry, I'll do the talking," said Steve. So I left it down to him. The lady's husband had come back to find his missus all upset at having been sexually harassed by the gas men she had met. So they thought the best course of action was to inform Dover police, who now wanted an explanation. So Steve then said his piece. "Oh, here, Kim, I'll explain it all. What happened, you see, was this. The lady could not speak good English, but the sale I didn't want to miss. So I explained about 3 light bulbs with a screw in motion in the air, which she might have took the wrong way while sitting on her chair. Then I think I realised the light bulbs I'd offered mistakenly, because instead of a bill for electric, she had a prepaid key, which meant she couldn't get her light bulbs. So I then tried to explain. I did the motion of a key going in a meter, which could not have been more plain. This motion she must have misinterpreted and took the wrong way too. But it was not sexual harassment, Kim. Those allegations just aren't true." I verified the Geordie's statement. That was exactly how it went. I could see why the lady got confused, but that's not how it was meant. Our boss needed it all in writing, so he wrote it down for him. The police accepted our statements, which had been handed in by Kim.